Hello, welcome to Self-Love Sunday. I'm very excited that you guys are here and hopefully you get something useful out of this video. Today I want to talk about the difference between control versus love. We oftentimes don't have enough experience tools when dealing with toxic person in our life. Because we were not growing up a certain way, we may have been lacking healthy examples of love, or the opposite, the way we were growing up was all nice, fluffy and happy, and therefore we were not prepared that there are people out there in this world that will not be thinking the way we do, that will be going to certain extents of manipulation, of abuse, to get us where they want us to be, right? So I will talk about 10 examples of how to spot that difference between control and love. Number one is criticism disguised as care. So someone will be telling you something in the sort of, I only say this to you because I care about you. This isn't actually because they care, this is because they want you to be shaped into the form they like and they feel comfortable with. So just have that in mind, that a person that truly loves you will give you it's not even a way of, it's not even them giving you the freedom, it's just, for them it's obvious you are free to do what you want to do, and if your values align, you just, it's smooth sailing and healthy conversations, healthy boundaries, etc. So there won't be any direct criticism or even indirect subtle criticism, because that person understands your sovereignty, that person understands that you think for yourself, you have your own taste, you have your own values, etc. So in my case, it looked like controlling what I wear and trying to manipulate the environment around me, in the sense that so I would start believing that I have to adjust to the environment. So, for example, other men don't think about me a certain way, etc. If a person would say something critical and they would see that it affects you, they will also take responsibility for hurting you, and they will be remorseful. They will be considering using a different words next time, treating you in a much nicer way, etc. So just have that in mind, that it doesn't mean, true love doesn't mean that you're not going to hurt each other in any way. It's just like taking accountability for it, not wanting to hurt you anymore, therefore changing the way of speaking, growing together, and similar. Number two is constant checking in with you. So the control would look like that toxic person trying to catch you in the act of something that you would never do. They would try to call you, and if you dare not to pick up or dare not to message them back within a certain time frame, instantly there is a suspicion that you're doing something behind their back. So they use that to create anxiety. It creates such huge stress and anxiety. It trains you to eventually stop going out altogether. But initially it is just getting nervous around your phone, carrying it with you all the time, in wildest of circumstances, even when you're around your family, friends, doing normal things. It doesn't matter, because that person thinks that you're doing something else, or they tell you that they think that you're doing something else and you're not trustworthy, and therefore you start to act like you're guilty of something, even though there's nothing that you're guilty of. You are trying to be the best partner, and oftentimes if someone doesn't have strong boundaries, they will adjust to it and start worrying constantly if that person doesn't potentially think that you're doing something behind the back. A healthy way, on the other hand, it would be just recognizing that you have your own time, you have your own, your group of friends, your family, and they will be messaging you gentle things like, I hope you're having a great time, send my love to your family, They will be just aware that you have your own time, and they will take care of themselves. Meanwhile, there won't be any suspicion, judgment, just the usual normal deal. Third one, love bombing. So it is the massive gestures, massive love, instant falling in love. Within days, you hear that they love you, that you are the love of their life. Like you are the greatest thing that ever happened to them. And that is a huge red flag if someone is investing so much time, so much effort, and so much great words so early on in the relationship. So I'm sure you have heard that before, that love bombing is a huge sign of control. That way, they're building emotional dependency. They kind of start invading your space and time. And again, if you don't have that boundary, if you don't have like certain time with your family, friends isn't sacred by that time, they will be able to invade that space and make you depend on them, make you depend on that hit of incredible feelings, of validation, of feeling like you're on top of the world. So it's hard to beat that after that. How to compare it to the healthy dynamic? Healthy dynamic will be building slowly over time, getting to know each other, not instantly jumping into a relationship, but having at least a few dates before we agree, okay, this is going well, I think I like you. Should we be, should we be exclusive? Should we get to know each other better and progress? And that's how it's supposed to look like. And I wasn't aware of it as well. I was the quick to fall in love type, which had its obviously romantic ups and downs, but overall, yeah, I had to learn how to be healthier in that sense. I really had to learn how to be healthier and take my time and actually test someone out a little bit before I commit to potentially a lifetime of being together, right? It's so important. This is one of the greatest decisions of your life, the partner that you're choosing. So take that time. Number 4, conditional affection. A toxic person will try to control you by withdrawing affection if they don't like something that you're doing. So they will be warm and loving when things are going great and you're kind of committed to them the way they want you to be committed. You are adjusting yourself and your schedule to their needs, to what they want. So this can go on for a long time if you are accommodating and if you are being so selfless and so giving, and you don't have any boundaries in how much you're giving. That person will take and take and take. And if you do start to feel that something is off, which you will down the line or even at the beginning, but we tend to ignore the first red flags because we feel so in love, blah blah blah. But if you do something and express that you're not so sure about this bit, or committing so much time, or you don't like the way they speak to you in a certain way, they tend to punish you with silence, with rage, and that teaches you not to express your needs, not to express what you don't like about their behavior. So it's very, very dangerous. It's very, very unfair. Again, if you don't have clear boundaries, it's a recipe for disaster, honestly. Versus healthy relationship, if you do say no, if you say that you don't like something, that person will respect that or will try to understand where you're coming from, why you don't like it. Because just because they like it, it doesn't mean that you like it. And again, if the difference is way too big between the two of you, you will say thank you, but I guess we're not aligned, and peacefully walk away. This would be the healthy scenario. If there's too much of a difference in values, it's okay. Like, it's okay to have differences in values. But for a toxic person, it's not that obvious. It's not that obvious because they are all about control, all about power. That healthy partner will want to know what you truly feel, what you truly think. They will want to find a compromise. If your values are more or less the same, you figure it out, because they will respect that you say no. They will respect you even more for expressing how you truly feel, how you want things to look like. And there's a mutuality, of course. It's not just one-sided. Five Point number 5 is a subtle undermining. So it's somehow connected to the criticism or punishment, but you will hear phrases to control you. You hear phrases like, you're too sensitive, no one else would understand you the way I do, no one else would put up with you. And often used these days, I want to speak to the ladies that are worried about body count, or how you can start being shamed for your past, for having previous experiences, previous partners. That doesn't mean anything. But the abusers or toxic men will often use that against you. They will try to shame you for having a past. Like, what were you supposed to do? Wait whole life for a person that you didn't even know that existed? So yeah, anyway, just so you know, they will use subtle phrases that no one will want you because of this, no one will want you because of that, or you're not that great, you're actually very average, blah blah blah. So that doesn't necessarily have to be like, oh, you be, it doesn't have to be that. It can be very subtle. It can be like under the table, like little pinches here and there. Versus if we have a healthy person, they won't understand 100% where you're coming from. They will not understand why you like certain things the way that you do, but they will respect that. They will say, I will, I don't have to understand it fully to respect that this is your boundary, and off to the sunset we go, romantically happy. Yes, they basically validate your experience, and it is very important. The next point on the list is the good old gaslighting. That's number 6 that we're looking at. Gaslighting is a famous term these days. We hear it a lot in the community of healing from toxic relationships. It is literally invalidating your part of the story, the way you see things, the way you remember things. So eventually that person makes you doubt yourself, makes you doubt your memory. In those instances where you're not so sure about certain things because how much gaslighting have you experienced, you can start writing things down the way they are. I found that a lot of people who experience abuse used that method, and it was very helpful to have something written down that it happened the way it happened, because that toxic person will make you doubt yourself, will make you feel like you're crazy, like you're misremembering things. Versus a healthy person may ask you, how do you remember it? I remember it a certain way, but I might have missed something, or we could have a different experience. We are still different people, so it's okay. And they will try to find out what's underneath. What are you thinking? How was it for you? So that will encourage you to share honestly, and and accept that your memory doesn't have to be perfect as well. As long as you guys being fair and gentle to each other and interested about each other's perspective, that's your healthy way of approaching any situations. 7th is pretty classic, is the isolation. So we experience that a lot in toxic relationships, where they initially, obviously, it looks like, oh, I want you all to myself, like I want all your free time, like just to for us to be together. And it's so romantic for some people. It is truly romantic. You're feeling so special because they're choosing you, they're choosing your time, they're choosing to spend their time with you. So yeah, it makes you feel very special, right? But down the line, they start to criticize your friends, criticize your family, that maybe they don't necessarily want the best thing for you, etc. Of course, there may be instances that the family or friends are somehow toxic to you too, if you're coming from that kind of environment. But we want to look at all these examples that I'm explaining, by one by one. If some of them there's like a few of them that are already matching in your head, this probably would be a toxic person's attempt to isolate you from friends and family, because they are an independent source of knowledge. They are independent source of reminding you of who you truly are, of reminding you of value. These are people that love you, that care for you, that want the best for you. So, well, toxic person wouldn't want that in your life. They wouldn't want you to have an independent source, and that was the case in my relationship, where I was being told that my friends were, a certain way. They don't have a good example of a healthy relationship in their life. Why should they be introducing their opinion to our relationship, blah blah blah, right? Because they said I had one person who in my life who had gotten divorced, etc. So they'll use anything to undermine your friends, your family. And he was angry when I tried to speak to someone externally about my feelings, relationship, etc. So yeah, it can go to an unhealthy point as well. Of course, you don't want to be disregarding your partner. You don't want to be criticizing them. You don't want to be throwing at them to your friends. If you are in a fairly healthy relationship, if you are in a regular relationship, you don't want to be, of course, dropping too much information out there. There's still the privacy. But if you are questioning your own sanity, if you feel like you're being in an abusive relationship or a toxic relationship, you absolutely should speak to your family and friends, so you can have a second pair of eyes on what you're going through. Yeah, so remember that. Healthy person, on the other end, will encourage you to have friends, to have family, to have hobbies. They will be your biggest supporter in your growth, your passions. So pick wisely. Number 8, emotional responsibility. They put the responsibility of their feelings on you. So they would be, it's getting darker outside, by the way, I'm just making aware of lighting, but let's see how we go. But they would be putting the responsibility for their feelings on you. So you could be doing something absolutely regular, something normal. Let's say you decided to go to the gym, and they started getting their feelings hurt because you didn't respond to their text, and therefore you probably are flirting with a cute guy on the gym, and they basically hurt themselves. Okay, their thoughts and their perceptions of what you might be doing behind their back is just simply they are hurting themselves, literally making up scenarios in their heads about how you messing with them, because that's how they do things. So they could not imagine that you can be just simply honest and wanting to be with them and not wanting to be deceitful in any way, just simply having a beautiful partnership and being honest, not cheating, not lying, or nothing. So yeah, they make you responsible for their feelings, and an adult that is a healthy adult will know that they're responsible for their reactions for things. I'm not talking about the reactive abuse, because we hear that a lot when a victim of an abuse is getting poked and bothered by the abuser, and then if they snap after many weeks, months of being abused, that's called supposedly reactive abuse. But this is somehow justified if you raise your voice, if you snap at them in the response to being tormented. Come on, guys, this is, let's not count that into putting the responsibility on the other person for your feelings is wrong in that case, because you're responding to abuse. And I'm sure you feel guilty and bad after that. If they had an outburst like this, I'm sure you feel bad and guilty after, and you care about the abuser's feelings, versus they don't. So just wanted to make that clear as well. Punishment through silence. It kind of links to the other point that I made about withdrawing affection. But silent treatment is a very popular, I guess, part of withdrawing affection. If you've done something wrong in their perception, in their eyes, like in my example, initially I was okay to dress the way anyway I wanted to for that person, and then it started being a problem months into the relationship that I didn't wear a bra, or or I don't know, I had a short skirt. Oh my goodness. And by the way, I'm not the person that is going to these places, you know, for entertainment, for like going to discos and exposing my body and all that stuff. This was just, you know, on occasions when I wanted to feel pretty, when I wanted to feel attractive, when I wanted to feel like a star. I'm an actress, I'm a trained actor as well, so it was just like, you know, feeling like not me, you know, like just playing around with the outfits. And also when I was being casual at home, wearing shorts, wearing no bra at home, just because I had a flatmate that was male at the time, that was a huge problem. Of course, at the beginning it wasn't, but down the line, because they know now that you're hooked emotionally, they will start to punish you if you do something wrong according to them. And oftentimes you don't know what you did because they don't tell you what you did wrong. So yeah. Anyway, that's one good example. Sorry for laughing, but it's just now it feels ridiculous, but it wasn't at the time. And then when you're emotionally kind of involved and when you care about that person and their experience as an empath, oh boy, it is tricky. It is very tricky. Now it's like, come on, ridiculous. But, well, there's a lot of unhealthy content out there as well that would reassure their perception, you know, of like how women should dress. In this particular example, right? I think it comes up a lot with toxic dynamic, with toxic men. So yeah. The 10th one is kind of summary of everything. It's the chaos cycles. So first you've got them creating some sort of drama, some sort of argument out of thin air, out of nothing. Again, it could be something that supposedly never bothered them before, but they were actually hiding that it bothers them. And then they suddenly make you accountable for some normal everyday things that you do, the choice of clothing, the choice of going out with your friends, spending time with a male cousin, whatever it is. If you have got this kind of jealousy, which usually there is a kind of jealousy, but of course it's double standard because they can do whatever they want oftentimes. So they create that drama, then they don't speak to you, you don't know if you're broken up or not, and then suddenly they come back like nothing happened, and there's a reconciliation, and you're kind of feeling like, what just happened? And you start feeling guilty. Maybe it was all me, blah blah blah. What's like, maybe I'm just like this massive trigger to them. Like they don't seem to be it doesn't seem to be happening with other people in their life. So am I the problem? Blah blah blah. There's a lot of thoughts that come through your head. And with healthy relationship, you've got predictability, emotional safety. Doesn't matter what happens, even if you mess something up, don't do something perfectly, act a little bit out of line, whatever it would be. Maybe you are in a healthy relationship but still project certain behaviors from previous relationship. If a person is emotionally mature and they want to be with you, they will point that out, but calmly, and they will not start treating you with silence. They will not start treating you any worse. They may, get angry, get something, but they will want to speak to you. They will want to resolve the problem because it's you against the problem. So, yeah, it's very nice being in the healthy predictability. I can confirm. So just to summarize, real love expands your world. The control shrinks your world, shrinks you. And that's the final thought that I want to leave you with. Like, the more you feel safe, seen, supported, the more you are loved. healthy love looks so much different. It really gives you wings, as cheesy as it sounds. And it should start with self-love. It really should start with loving yourself and being kind to yourself and gentle. I will always remind you of that. You know, be kind, be sweet, be gentle. Don't judge yourself. Try not to judge yourself. And if you feel guilt, shame, all these things, start to separate them and see them as this maybe entity living within you that you can make friends with and put a light to it. And so it comes to the surface and heals and doesn't bother you, doesn't make you feel stuck. And this cycle of also like blaming yourself and yeah, just self-punishing as well. If you are out of this relationship and you're still punishing yourself for, you know, for being in one in the first place, it's not your fault, honestly. The manipulation level is high AF. So thank you for listening if you made it till the end, and I'll see you next week for the next Self-Love Sunday.